similar thing. I won't say that they do what I...
Watch over me while you choose who you're going to be. Oh, watch over me while you show the glow what you're going to be.
You're here for heroes with no distraction, so don't wait, hit quick play and get straight to the action. It's Bastion blasting baskets of bullets and factions. The turret looks back and in fashion. Reinhardt will ride hard as a hammer on a stallion. Chivalry's alive, but he's not asking if he can marry her. Valiant as Farah, human jump jet Harrier, blasting a barrage with the power to sing galleon. Zarya singing an aria, bringing a cannon and flinging a barrier. Strong as a mountain, betting 1,000 pounds about to be able to carry. And no matter whatever you are, it's really as hard as a gorilla in armor. We're winning an instant when Winston's bananas. Winston witness and you have to send out an orb of harmony, destruction or discord. Forged in the core of war is orb. You're watching me erect a new form of dwarf born. Here's a fun fact, out in the outback, jump back, tick-tock, boom and kaboom like the kick on this drum track. And when you reckon this rap's run amok, I'll pull a roadhog and drag you right back with the hook.
Watch over me while you choose who you're going to be. Oh, watch over me while you show the glow what you're going to be.
Leaper sweeps through the ether while death blossoms. Shadow step and spank, leave you with a red bottom. McCree's peacekeeper seeks any head honcho. Put a bullet through the head like a head through a poncho. It's high noon, better ride soon if we're to reach career. GG fever, see divas, mech weak, wrecked and eject careers. Irrespective of the reflections, trajectory is symmetry projects technical and retinal tears and tears. If you're feeling hurty, get a heel of mercy. The Hippocratic pacifist, the fitbird, literally. We've heard music only makes existence richer. Lucio throws the switch, tones and notes composing us a picture. We're all soldiers, 76, except we'll never be ripped. American kids get it to grips with intricate weapons as heavy as bricks. Straight to a race in the place of the pace that'll make it say and see and stuff. Blinking you meant to blink like your fingers in sync. Cheers, love.
Watch over me while you choose who you're going to be. Oh, watch over me while you show the glow what you're going to be.
Maze, the weather woman, summon ice age and blizzards. Where there is a shiver in the bitter river, where the bitter couldn't give her whether you were triggered. And Widowmaker would have made a wicked woman in a Winnebago, because her aim is homing in from far away to wherever they go. Hanzo, the man bow, samurai commando, dragon strike arrows, still life like a Van Gogh. From Kyoto to Tokyo, bringing mojo to the dojo. It's Genji chucking a hurricane, a shuriken, and courage in a low pose. You're looking like Quasimodo, no joke, I'm a showboat that throws blows at so-so Joe blows when I no scope, dead as dodos. Oh no! So watch over me and decide who you're going to be.
Watch over me while you choose who you're going to be. Oh, watch over me while you show the glow what you're going to be. Oh, watch over me.
Hey guys, hello. Random stream. It was like, I got my camera set up. I should probably like try it out, see if it works. It's a little bit of a delay, but not terrible. So, hello everyone, or people, a few people. It's very exciting. Alright, so there we go. Turn down that just a little bit. Oh, seems like it might be echoing. Is it echoing with the music? Let me see if it's echoing. There we go. That might be better. Hopefully it's not echoing. Let me know if it's echoing. I'm still trying to figure out the whole new setup with my new computer. Everything was going really well, and then, yeah, just figuring it all out now. So we'll see. It's very exciting. Tonight I'm going to, yes, this is a lovely top-down view of my wine. I'm going to be working on Xena, Warrior Princess, as you can see from looking right here. Yay, Xena Warrior Princess. Finally, like, really getting started on that cosplay, which I'm really excited about. But I have a lot to do on it. Lots and lots to do on it. So yeah, tonight is, like, literally the very beginning. Thank you, Guido. I love my goblet, too. This is really how wine should be drunk, always. So I have an assortment of goblets, some of which are free to be used at any time. Others are saved for special occasions. This is one of my everyday goblets. Because I'm a dork, and that's what you do. So yeah, so literally today I'm going to be cutting some fabric to start sewing the lining for my Xena Warrior Princess corset. Because, you know, that's what she wears. It's a thing. It's a thing that she does. It's very exciting. So, checking again, is there like an echo with the music for the chat or no? Let's see, we've got Flying Jackalope, we've got Duck the Dark, very nice, Answer Guido, and then the bots. Which, by the way, you can earn golden lassos in the channel now, which is very exciting. I don't really have anything to spend them on quite yet. I'm trying to think of stuff, so. Ooh, yeah, blown glass goblets custom for your wedding. Nice. Yes, that is a fine gift indeed, Guido. And hopefully you put good use to it. I should do that. That's a good gift. Because drinking is always the great idea when you're working with, you know, cutting fabric and things like that. So here's my fabric that I've had forever. And really needs to be ironed. So I guess that's what we're going to start with tonight, guys. Super exciting. Watching me iron. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you want to do. There we go. Streaming twice in one day. Streamed with Happy Jacks earlier today, and now streaming here. Creative. So, the delay on that camera is annoying me. Do we like the top-down view so you can like actually see what I'm doing? Might need to change angles just a little bit, but we'll see. So I'll just scoot it over just slightly so it's a little more clear. Oh well, we'll make it work. And here's this camera. This is the fabric. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I added the chat, which is very exciting. Oh, that's a little big. Maybe I need to... I don't know if I can shrink the size or something. That was super... that was super California girl. Can I do that or something? Every once in a while, I just kind of like revert to that. Let me see. Chat. Oh, wait. Position, size, and style. Cool. Text settings. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There. I think that should fix that. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the things I'm going to do for the golden lassos. You can buy a head massage thing for me. Like, make me relax. We'll see. It's the best. I really like it. Ah, yeah, that's a much better size for the text, I think. It's not ginormous. This is my first time actually working on this new table, yes. I kind of was cleaning it up the other day on stream. Setting up the computer and stuff, but this is my first time actually doing something related to my craft on it, which is very exciting. So we will see. So far it's amazing. I mean, it's so cool. And I can like pin into it and everything. So that's awesome. I was about to stick that head massager on the mic, and that probably would have been a really unpleasant experience for everyone. Speaking of which, mic levels, is it cool? Is it good? Is it working for you all? Yeah, I saw about your Kickstarter, Sharguido. Congratulations on that. Those dice are beautiful, and those are going to be amazing. Perfect. So these are my fabric weights. I use them to, you know, weigh down the fabric, if you couldn't have guessed that from, you know, what they're called. Fabulous. Yeah, I'm trying out this instead of the little head mics. So we'll see. So far, so good. I dumped some money into getting a little bit of equipment, which is very exciting. Seems like the colors are a little different on the cameras. Let me see if I can fix that. So if you're just joining us, this is my first stream on our brand new setup with 3 cameras. It's very exciting. I have a new computer and stuff too, which is awesome. Interesting. That looks like two completely different cameras. Huh. Fascinating. That looks a little bit better. That made it worse. Oh well, that's fine. You guys know it's the same camera. I'm all legit and stuff. I'm never really legit, really, to be completely honest. Polishing up a few sets for tomes. I can't wait to see them. I spend all my time making Happy Jacks legit. I don't actually work on making my stuff legit usually. Let's see. I'm excited. Like, I got a new organizer and everything too. I have a utility organizer, not just a box anymore. So I guess I am becoming legit. Look at that. Too legit to quit with my actual craft organizer. I only got it because it was on sale, but otherwise I would have just kept going with the box. I should probably hang these now that I'm starting to get all legit with my like real table and stuff. I'm going to grab my iron real quick as soon as I locate where it is. This is what happens when I clean my workshop. I don't actually know where things go. I put them away and I think, oh look, this is in this great place. And then they're gone and I don't know where they are. Oh, there it is. Okay. Whatever. I am Iron Woman, yes. Get everything out here. Start ironing before I cut the pieces out. So I'm trying to get a game going for the Happy Jack stream tomorrow, because our, Dead Rain wasn't going to be tomorrow, and then we were going to move Mode of Sin to tomorrow, but at the last minute that didn't work out, and so now I'm trying to see if we can get an Interpol X tomorrow, like a special 4-hour episode of it. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. That would be fantabulous if it did. Yeah, I feel like we need to move that camera. Like over the shoulder's cool, but I feel like it, like right in the middle of the table would be better maybe. Alpha Art character done. Yes, we thought that too, except Stupid Stork is not available. So that is a problem. Although Jib very graciously offered to take his spot in the game, to which Stu was like, he'll probably kill us. So I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet. So we're still asking players to see if they're available last minute for tomorrow. So we'll see. Do the cameras seem to be all in, seem to all be in focus and everything? They look a little weird. Right? Stupid Stork being like busy and having a job that's paying him and things. Yeah, I know. Everybody wants to play in that pretty bad. It's hard because it's like, God, this fabric has been in storage so long. It's really, really, really wrinkled. Yeah, I mean, it's such like a classic game for us because it was one of the first APs and it's easily our most successful AP. This one, yeah, that's because there's something in it. But this one's cool. Oh no, that's the one that's going wonky. The one in front of me. The one I'm pointing out. Oh well, we'll see. No, I still haven't decided on a clan. Every time I think I've decided, I change my mind again. Part of me is like, okay, screw it. I'll be Crane again, because then we'll have like a callback to the old game. Oh, the one on the table? Yeah, that one's going to go wonky probably. Let me pop it up a little bit. When it has a little bit more. Yeah, no, I still haven't decided. I was pretty decided on Unicorn. But then you made your post on the forum about it being like stereotypical girl clan, and I was like, well, I don't want to be stereotypical. So we'll see. I don't know. I love a bunch of the ideas. Honestly, I thought that having everyone chime in on the forum would be helpful, and really, it's just it's just made it harder to decide because there's so many awesome there's so many awesome ideas now. I know it is about, well, it's not just about ponies, but that's a helpful thing. So I don't know. Yeah, we've already got 2 Phoenix. I think Phoenix would have been my first choice, but Stork and Dave jumped on it first, and Stu's made it clear that his preference would be for us not all to be the same clan. Like, if I picked that, he'd probably be fine with it and go with it. But I'm a GM pleaser. I like doing what the GM wants. Yeah, lion would be cool. I'm also, like, sort of starting to buy into the whole crab clan thing. So right now I'm at the conundrum of, okay, dragon clan and phoenix clan get along really well, but, so that would be, like, that would expedite the group getting along well. Unicorn and Phoenix don't quite get along super well, but I'd have a horse, and it would give me a very different skill set than the rest of the party, which would be a cool addition there. And then I don't know. Then part of me is just like, no, just like fuck it, just go crazy and pick something totally different. And then part of me is like, but Crane Clan. I love Crane Clan. Be the Crane Clan again. And then part of me is like, but you've already done that. You've been there. Do something new. Yeah. I think Stu's going to have us use all those quotes that he mentioned today. I think that's a really cool addition. So, I don't know. Part of me also is like, the problem with the Unicorn Clan is that it's like so, like they're the clan who's like the most different, the most outsider in Rokugan. So I don't know if that kind of defeats the point. If you're wanting to play in Rokugan, then why play the clan that is the most not? So I don't know. I feel like I also need to move this computer this way so I can look more at you while I'm talking. Does that bother you? Like me looking off while I'm talking to you? Me as a performer, I'm like very aware that the camera's here instead. I don't know. We'll figure out all the details of this streaming thing now that I'm back at it. And now that we have people who can run the Happy Jacks games, and I'm not there 4 nights a week, it's very exciting. I mean, I love doing it, but it's also like, there's a point where it becomes a little bit more than a hobby. Oh, I lost the conversation. Where you say nope, what is that a reply to? I kind of meandered with many thoughts for that time. Oh, you mean the I thought you were replying to the clan stuff. Yeah, I know. I need to find a way to make the text bigger. Master Better, hi there. You flexible, huh? That's cool. I haven't had enough wine for comments like that yet, sorry. This is me doing super stereotypical women-y things and ironing. Do a show, Kimmy doing things that are not very Kimmy-like, except with this is cosplay. So you guys are earning rewards in the chat room right now. It's very exciting. I don't have anything you can spend them on yet, but you're earning golden lassos. Eventually you'll probably be able to give me a head massage, because I like that. Maybe something else, I don't know. So this is going to be the underside, the inside of the Xena corset. Yay! Oh, I should do hashtag golden lassos. I forgot to update that. And you're gonna soon be the king of my chat room too. I see how it is. Yeah, I need to go through. I literally just set this up like 20 minutes ago, so I haven't gone through and like customized all the stuff like with Happy Jacks. Actually, I'm gonna move my table a little closer to that camera. This is a cool thing about having on wheels. They're locked wheels, but they still move a little bit. All right. So I'm excited. I get to see Justice League tomorrow. Get to see all the things that the fanboys on the internet have been yelling at me for all week. You haven't even seen the movie. How do you know it's a problem? Because I can see pictures and it's a problem regardless. What did you do? Did you gamble them all away during the show while I wasn't watching earlier today, Guido? Oh, thanks. Congrats on the internet hating you. I actually was really scared because I'm good friends with quite a number of people over at the actual DC offices. So I like messaged them. I'm like, does everybody hate me? They were like, no. They're like, you have to remember, like, the actual comics like have very little to do with the Warner Brothers lot and the movies. They were like, most of us agreed with you. So I felt better about it then. And not all of them are women. Like, I am good friends with a lot of women from DC Comics, but so it's good. The people at DC Comics don't hate me. Warner Brothers, I think, probably hates me. So good thing that nobody published my last name, and hopefully it doesn't hurt my husband's career. We'll see. Have it, you know, I haven't changed any of the settings on it, so it shouldn't be doing anything. Like the roulette settings or anything, like I put them on like the most easy possible, so it should be pretty simple. It should be pretty fairly win. You should win fairly often, but. If I can't get an Interpol X game going tomorrow, I probably will stream creative tomorrow at least, so there's something for you guys to watch. Or maybe a video on demand, like an old game. I don't know. Trying to figure out a way to up our viewership on games. Because Twitch is starting to expect more. If we want to make partner, we're going to have to up our game. Which, unfortunately, this week sucked for because of all the cancellations and rescheduling that happened this week, which, when it's that many different groups of people, you can't really help. So, sometimes that happens. No, actually, I very specifically did not. I actually very specifically hurt sales. Not on purpose, because I'm a huge DC Comics fan, and I actually feel really shitty that I might have actually, because I mean, when I posted on my blog, like my blog gets a steady traffic. It gets about 100 hits a day, like between 50 and 100 hits a day, which for a blog that's updated like once a month is not terrible. And my biggest draw to the site is like my bustle skirt tutorial is like number 3 on Google searches. So that's what most of it is. It's people searching how to sew a bustle skirt, coming to my website, and then a couple hardcore fans who like come when I post articles about things. So when I posted that, I was like literally thinking like max like maybe 500 people, maybe. That would be like a super excellent number of people to see the article. So it was not something I ever wanted to actually hurt, you know, the DC cinematic universe. I would have, you know, I love that it started a conversation about something that I'm very passionate about, which is the representation of women in comics and women, especially in the screen, and female heroes and what actual like empowerment is. But I am not excited that it may have actually like really hurt sales, unless that makes people really pay attention and stop treating women like, you know, objects in set dressing, in which case that will be well worth it. You're behind on the shows. There's so many shows now. That's one of the things we're trying to figure out too, with Happy Jacks on the shows is like maybe do we start I don't know, because that's kind of a common problem now with a lot of listeners and viewers. So it's one of those things, it's like, do we change it? Do we not do as many shows? But then that hurts us on Twitch. And we all really like doing as many shows and having as many games as we do now. So we don't want to cut back on stuff. So do we just have this huge backlog for people to enjoy, or? Yeah, I mean, especially when they were using a lot of the same actresses. And yeah, sorry about Guido's asking for people who aren't reading the chat. You know, they made the costumes for Wonder Woman. Why change them? And that is an excellent, excellent question. Part of it is it's supposed to be different time periods. So there is a reason that there would be different styles, because yes, clothing, even in an immortal society of Amazons, is going to change and develop, and they're going to make, you know, have preferences and change, but they're not going to get dumber. You know, if anything, the armor is going to become more advanced and more practical and more helpful in their battles. Not having stomach coverings isn't actually very helpful at all. That's stupid. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. That if they objectify women and the movie still does well, they credit that as part of the success. You know, at this point, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but a few hours ago, many of the websites were predicting that Justice League was going to do between 80 and like $95 million for opening weekend, which is a horrific failure. Like, absolutely horrific failure. And heads will roll. I'm sure there's frantic meetings happening all over this town right now. Women like to wear different clothes, and it depends. I mean, that's one of the interesting things, Master Redder, because you have to wonder. Women like wearing different clothes because we've been socially conditioned to want to visually please the people around us. Like, that is a huge part of our upbringing. Even myself, as a total tomboy, like that's something I'm incredibly conscious of. And so you'd have to wonder, if you lived completely 100% in an all-female society with no contact with any men, would that matter as much? So that's like a super interesting question for just like philosophically. Like, would it fundamentally change the way women, and like the stereotypes of women liking clothes, liking shoes, things like that, if there wasn't that social conditioning to be visually pleasing, which is kind of an interesting thought. I know, the chainmail bikinis were great in Red Sonja. They're not really. They're really not. They're really not at all. But that was the one thing. My cutting scissors are gone. My nice fabric scissors. This is what happens when I clean things. But I think Gail Simone took over Red Sonja for a little while, and there was actually a Red Sonja design out for a while that was amazing, that I loved so much, that was much more practical. They went through and I don't know where my scissors are. Okay. They went through, these are not them either. They went through and redesigned some of the skimpiest outfits I guess it was a couple years ago now, and did like plans for new outfits. I was actually really excited about the Red Sonja one. It was very functional, like D&D rangery, but like good D&D rangery, not like bikini D&D rangery. So I was really excited about those, but they never actually made it to the comics that I ever saw, which was sad. So, I know, right? Fabric scissors. They're here. I had them. I don't know where they went though. I put them somewhere so they wouldn't get confused. And nobody's in here except me, so I'd like to say it's somebody else's fault. But it's not. It's my fault because I'm the only one who's ever in here. Except when my husband brings me wine, which is nice. That's nice of him. Still looking for scissors. One moment. Alright, that's fine. I'll just do the best I can with dull, not fabric scissors. Yeah. Annoys me. They're all sitting somewhere really nice and safe together, which is annoying. I'm going to show you one of the coolest things about this table right now. Very excited. So, I did this on my last one too. Move the iron away from the camera. So usually I use fabric weights when I'm doing cutting, but I don't have to do that anymore because you can actually just pin right into this table, which is really cool. Love it. So I don't actually have to, I don't have to pin obnoxiously into just the pattern to the fabric. I can do that. Well, yeah, you can be sexy in form-fitting leather, but it's practical or more practical. Like the ones that always crack me up, it's like, and not that I mean, I love Red Sonja. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, any woman wielding a badass sword like that, just cool. But at some point, when you see her like wandering through the frozen wastelands, because always, it seems like always, or not always, but a lot of times, she's fighting in the snow. So having done like a small number of photo shoots in the snow in very small amounts of clothing, and that was like with a nice warm car to jump back into in between shots, like, it's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Hi, Jess. Welcome. What's the top of your table? It's made out of insulation board. I forget what it's called. It's like hematite, something like that. I'm actually going to be writing a tutorial about it really soon. Actually, I have a tutorial up on my website already about just the tabletop. If you wanted to check that out, that's on goldenlasso.net. It cost me like $30. It's like the best addition to a cutting table ever. But I'm going to actually put up a tutorial about making the whole new table that I have soon. Very soon. I almost wrote that one instead of the Amazon outfit one. So, would have been a different world entirely. I want to visit that timeline and see what the box office for Justice League was in that timeline. See how much I screwed over my favorite movie my favorite comic book company. Actually, no. DC Comics would have made no money on Justice League, the movie. They're not really related. The comics side of the business and the movie side of the business are very different. Right, Master Fitter? Like, you put them in a place and you're like, I will totally remember that this is here. And then you don't at all. You don't remember. I wonder if... Because it's very specifically, like, these are all my non-fabric scissors. So it's very obvious I was very organized about putting my fabric scissors somewhere. And they're just not here. That's stupid. Oh! Hey, Link Satora. Thank you for following. We always love when Wonder Woman does her super spin around the thing. Yeah, I actually recommend not foam insulation, Guido, because foam can melt. The insulation that I've used is actually, it's like, it's most similar to like composite board or that's not gonna work. This is so old and press board. So it has so it's actually made out of like not foam but like cork, but it's not cork board. It's like sturdier than cork board. I should Google it for you, but I'm busy right now. So so I can like that's why I was able to iron on it, because foam, even like sturdy foam, would start to change shape and stuff, doing anything heat related with it. And I do too much heat related stuff with, well, making foam armor and stuff like that. So that would, that'd be a pain. Although if foam is awesome, you can pin other stuff to it. Lagartha, yeah, she's the best. Oh my god. Lagartha's the, like, my spirit animal, the best. See my Viking shield up here? Yeah! Made that for the protest, like, last year. Can't believe it's been that long. Absolutely, like, that's the thing, it's like we find, I personally find men in, you know, full suits of armor attractive. I can't see any of their bodies. Like, it's not necessarily, like, you know, disqualifying someone from being attractive just because they're in armor. Yeah, snow is cold. Snow is really cold. It's very, very cold. And I say that as someone who doesn't like the cold at all. It's like 76 out here and I have my sweatshirt on. And so, yeah, the idea of being in a bikini in the snow for longer than like 15 or 20 minutes and then jumping back in a warm car for a photo shoot, like, is just like, no, I'm not interested in that. Like the people who are super brave and do like the polar bear jumping in the water thing, not something not my cup of tea. Good on you if that's your thing, not mine. Let's see, I'm sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. You guys are very talkative, it's exciting. Yeah, the foil layer, that stuff is, that stuff actually I love for, now that I'm getting into airbrushing, I have one that I stand up against the wall and I pin fabric to it to airbrush, because it's best to airbrush at a straight angle, not down. So I pin it up on that foam core and then airbrush things there. I know, how is the Women's March already over a year ago? Like, I can't fathom that, Jess. Like, it's insane. It's insane that this is where we are and that time is passing so quickly. Although, Christmas is coming, and I am super excited about the present that I got my husband. I'm so excited. Wait, I'm gonna see if he's in the chat right now. Make him go away. Sometimes he watches. If you guys ever see Rainfall Films in the Happy Jacks or this chat, that's him. So he's not here right now. And if he's here, I'm warning him to get the fuck out because he shouldn't hear his present. But, all right, I don't think he's here. He's had long enough to leave. So I found a place that does advent calendars of alcohol. So he's a total Scotch guy. So I got him a Scotch advent calendar, which I'm so excited about. So like good Scotch too. Like it was kind of pricey, but I'm really excited. His birthday's right around Christmas too. So I did the jerky thing where you combine like birthday and Christmas gift. But yeah, it's amazing and I'm so excited. And the best thing is it's shipping from like England. So when you're doing the ordering, you get to choose your prefix. Like usually it's like Ms., Mrs. Like theirs is totally English, so it's like Lord, Baron, Earl, Baroness, you know, like Duchess, and like these are all like legitimate choices you can make. So there's a whole bunch of scotch coming to Lord Sam. I'm very excited. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know the polar bear dip was a fundraiser. That's amazing for the for a hospital. That's really cool. It was called, let me get out my phone. And they had a bunch of choices. I shared it on the Happy Jacks Slack. So they had like a gin one, and they had a wine one, I think. And there's a regular whiskey one. And they ship to most of the United States. Not all of the United States because of some of the laws. But let me find it for you. I think it's like Masters of Malt or something. No yet on Interpol X, guys. Still, people are still waiting to reply. Yeah, masterofmalt.com. And then there's a section that says Christmas, and there's a whole section. There's a rum one. So there's a whole section on different ones. And they get there in like a week. So I ordered it last week, and I had to give them special instructions because they were going to deliver it on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, thanks for this fast shipping, but I'm not going to be here. Yeah, and it is cute that he watches. I think he mostly watches to look at his graphics since he makes the graphics. But I think sometimes he's just curious. He's like, what the heck is she doing in the backyard? Or when he's like when we're far away and I'm at Stu's house for like days on end, he's like, wonder what my wife is doing. Oh, she's eating stuff on stream. That's what she does. Let's see. Table cam settings are a little bit weird. No problem. Yeah, it's super cool. And I'm super, super excited for finding that. I actually found that at work the other day where all the teachers are sitting there talking about advent calendars for whatever reason. And I was like, yeah, I've been looking for the last few years for like an adult advent calendar that has alcohol in it. And I just Googled it, and suddenly it's like magically there and available in like all the most amazing things. Some of them are really good alcohols too, it looks like. All right, I'm going to check and just make sure he's not here yet. Because I do want this to be a surprise. Nope, okay, he's gone. And a bunch of other people left too. They're like, I don't want to hear her talking about her advent calendars. My goblet of wine. So, those of you who aren't familiar with the process of sewing, what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting out the pieces. So if you notice on your clothing, there's seams at the sides and on your pants and things like that where there's different pieces that are sewn together. Right now I'm cutting out those pieces for the corset for Xena. Right here. Xena Warrior Princess is my current project. She's been on my to-do list for some time. The armor actually is already in process. I commissioned that. I usually do my own armor. As far as like foam armor and stuff like that, but I really wanted Xena to have metal armor. So I commissioned an amazing artist called Hollowed Earth Workshop, who has also done some metal armor for me for Wonder Woman, and he's doing like the full set of Xena armor. And that's something I commissioned right before I lost my last job. So yay. And stressful, but also good. Like it's already paid for and everything, so it's a nice little gift to myself from past me. So once I finish all this up, I will send it down to him. He's in San Diego, and he will fit it all to the stuff that I've made. Yeah, I hate cutting too, Jess. It's the worst. Actually, the worst thing, I hate patterning. Like, if I could just make everything work right away. But, yeah, cutting is, like, awful, too. I hate it. And I end up doing a kind of shitty job of it, and then, like making it work later. And, yeah, this is the dumbest way to cut anything, but I'm not going to go around and move right now. I'm enjoying my seat. So, ta-da! And then it's pinned to the table. Pull out the pins. And this one was cut on the fold because it's the front of the corset. Ta-da! So that will be right here underneath my boobs and in the front. Woot, one piece down, a bunch more to go. And usually what I do to keep them straight, just because corset pieces after a while can, especially when you're tired and you're working on them super late at night, which is something that I do a lot, I usually pin the piece to the piece so that I'm looking at it later and it doesn't make sense. I don't accidentally sew a piece in backwards, which can happen even if you really know your stuff. I should stand up for this, make it a lot easier. I feel like we're not on random with my music at the moment. It's like all the same stuff. Oh yeah, we're not. Here we go. This is Dan Bull, who I love his music. But there's a lot of cool music that I've gotten permission to use on my stream, and I want to do lots of stuff. Oh, Guido, we had to take down your armor at the studio for a little bit. I need to reattach it to the cork board I put it on because we were afraid it was going to fall and damage it. So just if you probably saw it on the stream today, but just FYI. We still love it. I just have to find a better way to put it up. And I hate doing this even more without my fabric scissors. Like, I hate everything at the moment. Oh. These are not good scissors. I have like every tool known to man except the one I need right now. That's a little frustrating. I'm sure you guys know how that is. There we go. We've got some variety in the music now. That's nice. Curved parts are the worst too. Magic. I just wish I could wave a wand and have it all cut out. Sewing, I don't mind, but it's sucky to have to cut it all out. And I'm cutting on folded cloth, so that means I'm getting 2 pieces for 1 cut. Which you can't do on everything, but for corsets you totally can. Or what, at least once you make enough corsets. I'm so excited to finally cut this fabric. I like bought it ages ago. It's like, I'm totally gonna make this for Comic-Con. That didn't happen. And then BlizzCon came up, so that sucked up my cosplay work time for Symmetra. I'm still trying to figure out like what to do about that because I'm so proud of that helmet and some of the pieces that I made. But overall, she needs a little bit of an overhaul because she doesn't glow, which makes me sad. I mean, she does glow. Correction, she glows, but she doesn't glow unless it's like super dark. Whiskers are good. No, this isn't leather. This is duck cloth. So it's pretty thick, but it's like denim. So it's not leather. Although it's actually a lot harder to cut than a lot of the what is happening? All right, there we go. It's actually a lot thicker and harder to cut than some of the leather I use, because a lot of the leather I use is like glove leather, because it's just the outer layer. It's not actually like heavy duty leather. So it's usually like cutting butter. It's like cutting butter. Soft and supple. And it's awesome because if you cut it wrong a little bit, you can kind of just stretch it and make it work. For the most part, very forgiving, except with holes. So, because once you pin it, you don't want to pin it ever. I always tape it or use clamps on it, because if you pin it or cut it, there's like no going back, because the pins put little holes in it that are visible. I don't have scissors that I prefer. I usually go through them really quickly. So I have this beautiful set of scissors that I have from my grandmother that are Wiss scissors, and they're really lovely. An S for my grandmother's name. But they're the only like really good scissors that I have. The rest of them, I tend to get like low to middle of the road quality scissors, and then I just go through them really quickly and I would just replace them rather than like getting them sharpened and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Oh yeah, velveteen's the worst. It's like little razor blades. It's like, it reminds me of the grass in Aeon Flux. Like, it's like spiky. Yeah, that stuff is totally unforgiving. I mean, with cosplay, that's one of those things I'm probably not going to run into a lot, but I've run into it a couple times with historical costuming, and I'll just use literally anything else. There's enough stuff that you can get that has a similar look to it that if I can avoid it, I do. Checking on Interpol X. No updates. I'm still thinking, trying to figure out the whole Amazonian Rant of the Week thing. I think that's a cool idea for a show. So I'm trying to figure out how exactly to do that. I think next Tuesday I'm going to be on my friend Alicia Marie's live stream. I think she has a show that she does. Oh, I know she has a show. But I think hers is on Facebook, though. It's not on Twitch. So we're going to be talking Amazon costumes, mostly that sort of thing. So it should be fun. Talking about Wonder Woman. She was in our Wonder Woman short years ago. So that should be fun. I'm excited about that. It was funny. I was like talking to her. She's like, well, what night can you stream? I'm like, literally only Tuesday or Thursday, because I'm not going to be on a show and compete with the channel I helped set up. So it's like, those are the only 2 days I can stream that aren't conflicting with the Happy Jacks thing. Roads. I'm also thinking of setting up streaming of video games, which I think will be incredibly unimpressive to people because I'm such a I love playing video games and I do it a lot, but I'm a fairly mediocre player. Like, I'm not hardcore about it. So, like, I play, I have fun. So I don't know if that's just opening myself to a world of hurt. Especially since I play some rather mainstream games like World of Warcraft and Overwatch and stuff the most. Although it might be fun to broadcast my replay through of Skyrim. My husband and I redo Skyrim every fall and winter. It's kind of our video game seasonal tradition, as dorky as that fucking sounds. So that might be something that's still cool to play through, a little more chill. There's not like competition and stuff. Yes, it's a Red 5 shirt. I'm super proud of this shirt. I love this shirt. Me too! That's what I'm doing. Officially, Thanksgiving break. Sent my kids home yesterday. All settled in for a week of enjoyment. Partway through the week, we're going up to my mother-in-law's house. So we're doing a bunch of driving. So I won't be streaming after like Wednesday. Hopefully getting back just in time for Dead Rain on Sunday. We're leaving at like 7 in the morning so we can get back in time to stream at 4. A little annoyed about that, but it's fine. I don't do mornings well. So I'll probably be streaming a lot this next week, actually. Just like getting all the kinks worked out, all those things. Trying to think of some cool like things you guys can buy in the stream for my channel with the golden lassos. So far I've come up with head massage. That's all I got. So if you guys have ideas. I was thinking like take a drink too, but I also, 1, I don't always have drinks out here. And 2, that doesn't seem like it would be super productive for like high quality cosplay. Or high quality creation. So, we'll see. I'm more doing this just for fun anyway. It's not like I want to get like a gigantic following. And I don't want to compete with Happy Jacks at all, really, so. My corset is all cut out. Oh no, it's not. I have to do the boob cup, sorry. Almost all cut out. That is strange, Master Vetter. Did they take Friday off for, like, Thanksgiving holiday? Or is it, like, a teacher report card? Because a lot of schools are sending out report cards this week. So maybe it was, like, a teacher work day. Because most schools give teachers one day without students to work on report cards. Or a part of a day, at least. So that's probably what that is. More than an actual link to Halloween. Or Halloween, to Thanksgiving. Yeah, I like it too. I like having people here when I'm doing it. So much of my stuff I was either self-taught or learned by watching friends. It's always interesting to see. That's one of my favorite things about the Creative Edition on Twitch is seeing like a lot of different people's setups. I've learned so much about like cosplay fabrication and armor fabrication and how many different ways there are to do it. Because before it was like, oh, okay, I'd Google a tutorial and I'd be like, okay, and I'd just kind of assume that was how everybody did it. But people all have their own ways, and it's all so different and so unique. And they all believe their way's right. That's amazing. Like some people are like, yeah, if you make the armor out of foam, you know, then you spray it with Plastidip, and then you 5 times, and then you put 5 layers of spray paint. But this particular spray paint that you can then sand and all this stuff, so it's a very specific process. Some people are like, no, you make it out of foam and then you coat it in resin. Some people are like, you make it out of foam and then you cover it with Worbla and then you cover it with wood glue. So it's kind of fascinating, like kind of trying all these different methods now that I've become exposed to on Twitch and seeing like which ones work, which ones I hate, which ones I love. So it's really fascinating. I actually learned a lot of my Symmetry cosplay because before I didn't really, like I'd done some foam armor, but I'd always covered, but the foam armor that I made I wasn't super happy with. The foam armor that I made that I covered with Worbla I loved, so that was sort of my process, but it's a very expensive process because Worbla is not cheap. So I was kind of looking, but I came upon a process that I like with foam so far that seems to make it very sturdy, and I feel like it's a good process to use when I don't necessarily want to use a ton of Worbla. Because I don't mind using Worbla for smaller pieces, but there's a lot. Superintendent's Day on Friday. Okay, yeah. Well, it's nice to know. I think it's funny because there's so much ingenuity in the cosplay community, and I think that's starting to disappear, unfortunately, because it used to be like there weren't all these thermoplastics and stuff like that to use, so we just had to come up with ways to do stuff. Now there's more technology. People are producing things specifically for the cosplay community, which is helpful. It's helpful. It gives more people access to it, but it also makes it so we don't have to like be quite as crazy and creative with stuff, which kind of sucks, but it's also kind of cool. No, I cut the foam and seal the pores with heat. Oh, that's interesting. Like a heat gun, like the paint strippers? Because that's how I form the foam. But I found that if you spray paint right after that, even it doesn't really close the pores. You still get air bubbles. So what I found, and this method I used the most recently, was spray it with Plastidip, many, like 5 layers of Plastidip. That seals it, and then you spray it with primer, with spray primer that's sandable, and you can you just spray and dry and sand and spray and dry and sand until like it's perfectly smooth, and then you actually apply the actual color, and by then it's completely sealed and it's pretty hard. That's the process I used for my Symmetry helmet. And I wish if I'd had more time I would have done it even more, but that's how it turned out. And it's really bright, but it turned out super smooth looking, and it's very hard. So pretty cool, and super lightweight, which I was happy about. So, and I was able to get some of the details and stuff filled in. I don't know if it does or not, but I was in crunch time, Jess, and that's what the guy that I was watching on Twitch did, so I didn't want to like waste time, and like it was going to take me less time to spray a few more layers of Plastidip than hope that I didn't need it and spray it with primer and then have bubbles appear and have it screwed and have to start from scratch again. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll be experimenting with it more. I want to do more armor stuff. I really enjoy making armor. I think just because sewing's not that big of a challenge anymore. So it's kind of the next thing. I mean, it was literally like, okay, I have 72 hours left to work before BlizzCon. What will be the most streamlined process? And that was not experimenting at that time. So we'll see. I want to redo some of the armor for her. So I'll try other methods and see and report back. But there's also people who say, you know, if you coat it with resin and you only need one coat and then you sand it. I've seen that. There's a lot of different things. I haven't used really resin very much. It seems super temperamental, like getting it to cure and stuff. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. So, and I've seen too many projects that went weird or went sideways because the resin didn't cure quite right, and it really set the project back. So if I'm going to use resin, I think I'm going to start on something a little less time intensive. One thing people use for Warbler is wood glue too. So I think I could probably do that on top of foam, but I don't know if that would be better or worse than the Plastidip. Plastidip wasn't very expensive. The Plastidip was, you know, it's just like spray paint in a can. So I think it was like $5 or something, maybe $7. But for that small of a thing, if I was doing like a full set of armor, that would probably taken a lot of Plastidip. But for that one, it didn't take a whole lot, so. Yeah. Oh. Kendachi, thank you for visiting. Hi there. Resin works best when it's hot out. Well, I live in Southern California, so that's definitely an advantage in that department. Because, you know, it's almost December, and then it's going to be 96 next week. Hey, 96 for Thanksgiving. Super festive. Yeah, I think I want to try resin for some gems and stuff like you were saying, Jess. But... Hello! I love dragons too. Welcome. Dragons are the bestest. We have a lot of new faces in here. Welcome, guys. Introduce yourselves. If you like the stream, which is mostly me talking and drinking wine at this point, because I cut out most of my pieces already, throw a like. We'll see Wonder Woman spin, and it makes us all happy. Right now I'm working on Xena Warrior Princess, which is right down here. Ta-da! There we go. I'm working on her corset right now. This is the duck fabric, the duck cloth that will be the underside, the lining of the corset. And it will hold most of the structure together. Then I'm going to be covering this with some beautiful brown leather that I bought. So it should be super pretty. Yeah, well, each his own. If you struggle with addiction, then avoid the alcohol. Hopefully me sitting here drinking it won't cause you to fall off the wagon and such things. So I'm going to be one of these channels where I need to have, like, addiction help, like, as a command in the chat room. No, I'll definitely do boning. The boning, I mean, the cloth is definitely enough to hold it, but the boning holds it in a flattering shape. Even though this would hold my body in, it wouldn't necessarily hold it in the beautiful hourglass shape that I prefer and that everybody prefers. The boning makes sure that it stays super flattering and doesn't start bunching up or stretching and things like that. So the duck cloth and the boning itself will hold all the structural tension, as it were. Not to imply that I have a lot to hold in, but whatever. And then the leather is just kind of like an outer layer for looks. So that outer layer could actually be made of anything. It could also have been silk. It could also be, you know, something taffeta, something that doesn't have any structural integrity, which is why I often use glove leather, because it's so easy to work with. I did not buy glove leather this time, but I might end up still going and buying some glove leather. I bought thicker leather because I want to make... Because her skirt that I'm going to make eventually is going to need to be of a little bit of a a thicker thicker leather. It's not armor grade, but it's sort of in between. So I might end up having to get some thinner layer just to go for the corset, but we'll see. Sure, we can be friends. I kind of feel like you're just trolling, but since you're just kind of quirky at the moment, I'm cool with it. Enjoy. Welcome. Welcome, be my friend. I am cutting out the boob cups of my corset piece. So these go like on the top of the boob part. And if you look down at the side, you can see my past cosplay work down over here, right there. And some of that is corsets and things like that too. Since I do a lot of comic book characters, there's a lot of corsets. There you go, there's one. There's a lot of corsets involved. I'm most known for my Wonder Woman cosplay, although there's a couple of others I'm known for. And I do have tutorials and stuff on my website, which is goldenlasso.net. But I'm a little bit behind on working on tutorials. I'm streaming, and you can ask me questions. You're totally right. Trolls can totally have friends. Trolls deserve friends too, man. Everybody can have friends. Awesome. So this is one lining. I usually do 2 sets of lining. So I'm actually going to go through and cut a whole nother set of these. Then what I'll do is I'll sew them together and it will be magic. And I'm trying to decide, are you guys comfy? Are you guys cool? I'm trying to decide whether I should save this and cut them tomorrow or if I should just cut them now. I'm kind of on a roll. Maybe I should just cut them now. Then I will sew them tomorrow. That sounds like a good plan. What do you guys think? I'm going to put my iron on the ground. Actually, over here. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut the things. Continue cutting. Thank you, Jess. So this one is cut on the fold. This is a piece of fabric that's folded here. So then when I end up cutting it, even though the piece looks like that, I'm using the overhead camera right now to show people. So even though the final piece looks like this, and this is what the actual pattern piece looks like. So cutting on the fold, that's what that does. And all these pieces do include seam allowance. Quite a bit of seam allowance, actually, because I prefer that. When you're working with leathers and stuff like that, you end up, you can either sew or glue seams flat. And having a little bit larger of a seam allowance helps make it lay flatter. Where if you have just a tiny bit of seam allowance, it tends to make little bunched up areas, which are not as cool. So, let's see. Look at that. If you are new to the stream, if you haven't been here before, my name is Kimmy. I'm also known as Golden Lasso Girl. I'm working on Xena Warrior Princess. I said that already. I've been actually streaming on Twitch for a while, but then my computer died a few months ago and I've been saving up and I just got a new one that can actually handle things. So now I have 3 cameras, which is super fancy. Look at this. 3 cameras. 1, 2, and 3. So you can see more angles. And I do cosplay stuff. And other stuff occasionally, but mostly cosplay stuff. I also stream 2 to 4 nights a week on a tabletop RPG channel. So in here I talk about tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that pretty often. So if you hear me ranting or talking about character creation or things with people, it's probably carryover from that channel. And that is Happy Jack's RPG. And that's where I stream most of the time, but I don't stream creative there. Thank you. I like the new setup too, Jess. It's pretty exciting. trying to figure out like all the accoutrements to go on the screen. Like we've got, you know, the recent likes and recent follows, and we've got like the chat happening. I don't want it to be like too busy. We get like the music and stuff up in the corner up here. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it at the moment. Looking pretty good. I'm waiting for like all the fanboys who hate me after all the drama this week to like find it and rip me apart in it. I'm like, okay, should be fascinating. Luckily, none of them seem to do that. Like, I was kind of waiting, especially after the major outlets started picking up the story. I was a little bit worried, but it's all good. Non-committal players, yes. Non-committal players in your campaign. Right now I'm just pissing about non-committal groups on your streaming channel because we've had so many reschedules this week, which is totally, I get it, like not their faults. Like when you have multiple games with different players in every single game, there's going to be problems. Yeah, you can tell I've learned a lot since I started, especially working on Happy Jacks. I've learned so much stuff. So, actually, I figured out, I think, some of the issues we've been having with the GM camera at Happy Jacks today, which is pretty cool. It's always nice to be a problem solver. Be a problem solver. What's the stream quality like? Does it look okay and everything? Yay! Yeah. Still waiting to see if Interpol X wants to play tomorrow. I really want to play that game. Oh, I have a notification. Oh no, it's a different game. Damn it. Alright, well, if you don't play tomorrow, maybe I'll just get drunk on my stream sewing stuff and rant about costuming things. Excuse me. Excuse me. The side video camera is clearest, which is funny because it's the oldest and crappiest one. I don't understand. Like this is the newest, most expensive camera, and I'm not sure why it's like super blown out. So I think I have to mess with the lighting in here a little bit. So we'll see. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I have to get back in shape. I might start streaming workouts again eventually, but that's like a big commitment. I'm not sure I'm on that level. Like having watched, there's like a lot of people streaming workouts now, and that's a whole like thing. Especially because I don't look like most of them. Like I'm fine with my body. I'm very proud of myself. I lift heavy, but there's like a difference between what people imagine fit people look like and what I look like. And there's like a threshold of, well, you're qualified to tell other people how to be healthy if you look like this, and you're not qualified if you're in like the normal-ish range. So, yeah, I know, but I give up everything in my life to stream at Happy Jacks. Like, why can't everybody else do that too? I'm just kidding. Yes, Mac is running her Kickstarter. Her game, I think, is fine. I don't think they're rescheduling that one. It was kind of neat to have the podcast recording today during like the middle of the day, though. As annoying as that was to get there, it was nice to have like Bill was in the chat room. We had a lot of listeners who don't usually make the streams because they're in different time zones that were able to drop by. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's a lot she's asking for that Kickstarter. Like, it's very cool, but having been involved in a couple, like, film projects that kickstarted, like, it's a lot of money to ask for. Yeah, all the Euros showed up. It was so good having Bill in the chat room. We need to do more to, like, and one of the reasons we haven't, because we've knocked around the idea of getting, like, an online game to stream. But one of the reasons we haven't, just because he travels so much for work, even if it was at a time where he could make it, he can't really commit fully to being there. So, I don't know. Plus, there's so many channels that stream online games. I'm not sure that has as much unique appeal as... Although, I mean, a lot of people are streaming from studios now, too. So I don't know if it matters, but I like the camaraderie of watching people together more. I don't really like... I like watching people I know that are all at the same table, too. Like, that's one of the things... They've changed Critical Role's set up a couple times, and I don't watch Critical Role, like, religiously. I've watched it a couple times. And it's a little weird, because I know people in it, and it's just kind of odd to, I don't know, see them do that. But for a while they had like separate tables, and I didn't like that. It seemed, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I like it when they're sitting at the same table. And their new table's like a hexagon, I think. So it's like they're able to all look at each other, and they're all kind of technically still at the same table. I think if the system was not as common, you guys could get away with an online game. Yeah. That's true. And I mean, Traveler would be great for that. Bill's awesome. I would love to have Bill run his Star Wars Traveler. That'd be amazing. That'd be really, really cool. Maybe I'll talk to him about that. And the big thing with it would be not necessarily a huge draw, but just... keeping Bill involved, because he's such kind of a big part of who we are, and work has taken him away before. Traveler would be a good thing like that. We've had a lot of people messaging us about the Traveler game. What systems would you guys like to see coming up? We need to start planning. Like, we have a couple things planned. Like, after... We're having another vampire game start after... about when mode ends. And they might overlap slightly. So we'll still have a vampire game. And we're obviously having L5R start, which I'm so excited about! I'm so excited about that game! Sorry, I'm over it. I'm okay. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of interesting. L5R Traveler. That sounds super complicated. GURPS, yeah. Getting Stu to run GURPS, man. It's just not in his head right now. He loves it. But... maybe bring someone in to run it. Jib's like such a Savage Worlds guy and PBTA guy. I actually really love PBTA, but it's not a huge draw, I don't think, but I love playing it. It's so much fun. I'm really excited about Interpol X getting going. Like, we've kind of had some scheduling problems, which I'm really sad about, but I think the characters for that game have real potential. Yeah, GURPS. GURPS is a good idea. Maybe. I think Chip does hero. I don't quite remember. But probably that seems like something he would do. I can totally see him doing that. Yeah, definitely Mook. I want to get him to run GURPS. That would be amazing, because he literally, like, you know, wrote the book on it. It's funny, people react differently to asking to be on a stream game. I don't know, there's a thing about it that makes people nervous. Which I can understand. There's like that element of being exposed and online. I was really nervous our first couple times. Now I kind of forget about it sometimes. Not forget about it, but like, it's just really normal now. Although, man, I cringe when I go back and I look at those old setup pictures. You just look at it and you're like, oh god, it looked so bad. So bad. I mean, it still is not, like, the greatest, but I actually really like our setup. And with the fan art behind us, it's pretty cool. So, I like that. It's not like, I mean, we don't have room in the studio to make, like, a full set like some other shows have. So it's never going to be able to be that necessarily. Because we literally have like 1.5 feet on each side after we, you know, we're sitting so close to those walls. But I don't know. I like the color thing. That seems to have jazzed it up a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like actually Dave is good at playing like he's not, but I think he gets really nervous. I think he actually is one of the people who gets nervous. I think not nervous about his performance, not nervous about running it, but nervous about how people, because he's usually there to run his system. So I think he's generally nervous about the way people are going to accept or judge his life's work, his system. Not his system, I'm sorry, his settings, like his setting books and things like that. So I think he's nervous about judgment on that, and often how it will reflect his brand, because he does like that is part of how he makes his living. So if a game goes flat, like, yeah, it kind of sucks if you're on stream and a game's not going well. It's a little awkward, you know, people leave, they don't watch. But if it's actually like your product that is, you know, not going well, then people sometimes assume it's the product rather than just players. Which, I mean, that would make me nervous. Luckily, I don't actually have to make a living at any of the nerdy stuff I do, so I can just enjoy myself. But remember, I mean, Dave refused to do Hot Seat with me. Like, until he finally, like, got the courage to do it, but after it was canceled. But, like, he was, like, not interested in doing Hot Seat with me because he didn't like the idea of being asked things that he couldn't prep for. And I told him, I'm like, you can look online and you can see the questions, but I'm not going to give you a list of questions ahead of time that I'm going to ask, because it was a very free-form interview show. Like, a lot of the questions just kind of came up in the course of the conversation, or people asked them in the chat, things like that. So it was never it was never like 100% planned, and that made him very nervous because it is his product. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I changed my mind. I'm happy to be on hot seat. I'm like, I don't do it anymore. Maybe I should do that here. Not just interview people about, like, tabletop games, but just interview geeky things in general. Although one of the reasons I loved that show is because it was so low maintenance. Yeah, I liked it. It was fun. It was literally just like a friend of mine coming over to my house and drinking with me, which was always nice. Probably would be nicer now that I have a new computer that doesn't crap out every time I do it. This camera's like, this computer's so much better. I have like 3 cameras running and music running and the chat running and everything. It's like CPU at 23%. Well, the other one, it was like 75 to 85%. I was like, oh God, please don't burn up. I think it might be fun sometime to do something like that with new players who are coming into Happy Jacks. Because I feel like sometimes we'll just add new people and we don't necessarily, they haven't been introduced to the community. Although maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe people don't care that much. I don't know. There's also this thing that's interesting. It's like professional streamers. Not professional. I shouldn't say professional because that means like they're making their living at it. But people who actively go around and find streams to be on as far as gaming. I know a lot of my friends do that for like Geek and Sundry. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. And you know, we have a couple people who do Saving Throw show and our show, but that's a little different because Saving Throw is kind of like our friends. But I guess, I don't know, it's just interesting. They like go and they play like 3 different games a week on 3 different Twitch channels. Just kind of an interesting thing that's starting to pop up with like the prevalence of like Twitch streaming tabletop RPGs. And I've been asked a couple different times, like that's how we met Saving Throw shows, because I was asked to be on their show one time. And I went and I was like, oh, that's actually how we started streaming. Because I went and saw their streaming setup and I was like, wait a minute, we could do this. Now they have like really awesome equipment, so we can't quite do that. But no, we're about on par with them as far as our setup, I think now. Not quite on par. They have an actual studio, but that's okay. But it's kind of fascinating to just kind of see how that goes. There's been a couple times where I've been asked to be on like not Critical Role, but Geek and Sundry games, which is cool, but they're always like in the middle of the day. I'm like, I have a job, guys. Like I realize like I stream a lot and I game a lot and I do all these things a lot, but there's actually like a day job I have as well. So it's a little difficult to, you know, dedicate myself to something. Plus also I don't necessarily, I don't know. There's a handful of days that I wouldn't be competing with Happy Jacks, and I don't want to do that. Have Stu make his garage bigger. He actually can't because of an oak tree. That's a super interesting story. But he has a oak tree in his backyard. It tried to kill him, if you've heard like the old stories of him like choking on a oak leaf that fell in his beer one day. But in California and Pasadena specifically, oak trees are protected. So, yeah, and the parrots. But the oak tree in his backyard, he is exactly as his garage is as when they built the garage, it is as close to that oak tree as he's legally allowed to get. So they made that garage as big as they could in their backyard between their property line and that oak tree. without breaking the law and getting a bunch of fines for building something on their own property. So I literally can't make it any bigger. So unless he took out the recording booth, which he's not going to do, because that's the whole reason he built it. So. Although, I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made for maybe shrinking the recording booth, since he records like 3 months of the year, and we're now streaming 12 months of the year, 4 times a week. Oops, my chainsaw slipped. It actually is a $15,000 fine if anything happens to his oak tree. Like any accidents happens to his oak tree. So, it's really strange. Like, if it dies of natural causes, he is actually, like, if it starts to be ill, like, he's actually required to get, like, an arborist out to take care of it. There's, like, all these weird things. But, which is stupid because there's 8 billion oak trees. They're not, like, an endangered species. So I don't really understand. There's literally, like, oak trees all up and down his street in the front yards, in addition to more in the backyards. So I don't know why oak trees are a protected species, because they're not endangered. Maybe at one point they were, and now it's just, like, a stupid law that we're stuck with. I don't know. Sure, we can cramp the boggards. Sure we can. That's fine with me. I don't care. They only record in there like one at a time usually anyway. So they don't need... It's a big space. We used to play... When we recorded L5R, we actually recorded the first L5R for the most part in that recording booth. So it's actually a big booth because it could fit a bunch of Heather's costumes, Stu, Dave, me, Stork, and Tyler all together in there with a table. So it's a pretty big recording booth. So I feel like Stu will never agree with me, but I feel that there could be some consolidation of space, and it would be fine. Yeah, it probably is to maintain the look of the area, Jess, because if everybody suddenly cut down the oak trees, it wouldn't really look like Pasadena anymore. They're kind of a staple there. That makes sense. I know there's logical reasons, but I want my epic recording studio. Actually, right now, I'd just fucking settle for internet there. Because I'm so fucking tired of the internet there. And it's not his fault. We call, like, literally every month, and supposedly they're putting in the super fast internet sometime in the next year, so we should do a call-in, like have like all the Happy Jacks fans call in to Time Warner or whatever cable company it is requesting for that street faster internet. Maybe it would make them install it faster there. It's funny, I'm streaming and I'm like feeling like I have a mic here even though I don't because mine's like sitting over there. But it's like I just automatically into that place where I record so much at Happy Jacks with my mic like clipped right here that I feel like, oh, I shouldn't touch it. Oh no, it's not there. There's nothing there. Yeah, the fiber optic cable is supposedly getting installed in the next year. They said that for like the last 6 months, so hopefully soon. But I don't know. We'll see. It's frustrating because we have the money, we're ready, like we keep asking them about it and it's just not available yet. Yeah. Can't believe it's not in Pasadena yet. Like I guess it's a pretty big city area. It's absolutely ridiculous that it's not there yet. I mean, and we've looked into everything. And we call all the time just to see if there's some new thing that we don't know about. And to just, like, give them the impression that it's in demand so that they fucking bring it. But evidently they don't believe us. Use that Patreon money to rent a studio. Yeah, but we're never going to get Stu to leave his house. That's the thing. Like, that's the reason we all game at Stu's house. Because Stu will never leave his house to game. So that would be, like, the end of Happy Jacks. If we're like, oh, we have to get a studio, we'd have to, like, restart the brand. Because Stu would not leave his house to do it. Oh, that scared AT&T. That makes sense. If Google rolled out their fiber. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think they're going to do that in Pasadena yet. But the Patreon money, actually, we put it to good use. I mean, we do have the fastest internet we can at the moment. And we have been dumping a lot of it into new things. The new computer... new cameras, even though you don't necessarily notice those upgrades between streams. Things like that. Last piece! We got the new camera mounts recently, too. Even though you guys can't see those have really helped a lot. Instead of the kind of jury-rigged selfie sticks we had, like, rigged to the ceiling to hold the cameras. They're definitely, they're in a place now where if we bump them, they're not going to, like, completely topple and break. And we have the new dice tray, which is exciting. Yay! Ta-da! There we go. All the pieces and double the pieces so that way I can do outer and inner layer of the lining, which then the boning will be sandwiched in between. I find that makes it a lot stronger. It also saves me the trouble of dealing with the bone casings, which suck. So this way I'll just sew, when I sew it together, I'll sew it together, and then I'll sew in the channels for the boning. The next step in this will be, I can sew it together, but also using my muslin pattern, just somewhere in here, to design exactly how I want the top layer, the leather layer of the corset to look. Because if you look at Xena Warrior Princess down here, you can't see actually because of her armor in this particular picture, but she doesn't, like, there's lots of pieces to the corset. Her outer layer doesn't have all those segmented pieces. So it's like a larger triangle type shaped piece down the front, then like the side pieces. So those will all be cut out separately. So it will give that look, even though the under corset, which you won't see, will have many more pieces to create that hourglassy shape that we like to see with the corset. I'm all done with my part of the project for tonight, guys. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Tomorrow I might be streaming, unless I'm streaming with Happy Jacks. So we will see. Excited to actually be starting on this project. Hopefully we'll have her done in time to do some cool stuff in the springtime. Also deciding on my next cosplay too, so we'll see. Have a great night, Jess. All of you guys have a fantabulous evening. And I won't leave you the song. I don't have any songs. But I'll talk to you later. Bye.